Hey everybody, we have a Labradoodle puppy litter update video for you today. Hi, I'm Claire from Isle Labradoodles, and in today's video we are going to be telling you all about the Australian Labradoodle puppies from our Cloudy Skies litter. We have 6 medium-sized Labradoodle puppies in this litter with Orca and Tig, and in today's video we're going to tell you what they've been up to for the past week. We're going to let you see them all up close and personal, tell you a little bit about their Labradoodle colors and Labradoodle patterns, give you their updated weight, and also give you an update on Mama Labradoodle Orca. So let's start with Orca. You can see Orca is very comfortable here with her puppies. She's settling in really nicely to her role as a Mama Labradoodle. This is Orca's very first litter, and she's really adjusted just so readily. She's very fond of being a mom. She's genuinely interested in her puppies, does a great job caring for them, and she's been really good about just being a nice, calm and relaxed mom. And now that she's got the first week under her belt, she's even feeling comfortable enough to walk out of the whelping box and sleep just in front of it for very short periods of time. She still is always listening for her puppies, and she does come in and check on them. She doesn't stay outside for any length of time. And she does come out and visit with us for very brief periods. She's still not comfortable to be actually out of her maternity room for more than a very short period of time. So she comes out about maybe 5 or 6 times a day, and that's usually for about 10 minutes at a time. So she goes outside, we have a little walk around. Well, our Mama Labradoodles are lactating. They have a very limited area that they're allowed to be outside. And the reason for that is to keep them as safe as possible from any germs and diseases. And of course, when they're outside, whatever's on their feet comes back inside. So generally, if it's really rainy or if it's a little bit mucky in any way, we'll wipe their feet off. And we generally wipe their bums off too, so if they come back in, they don't have anything on their coat at all. Now you see with Orca, she has almost no coat. She got her coat taken way down just before whelping because she had developed some mats in her coat. So she got really shaved off. So we don't really have to worry too much about things sticking to her coat because she doesn't really have much of one. But she still has her very pretty Labradoodle head here and her beautiful face. And that's the other thing we do is when they are eating their meals, we do wipe their faces off after they've eaten. Now it all seems a little bit funny because of course, as you can see right now, she's licking the puppy's bums, and as I have explained previously in other videos, when the puppies are this age, they're unable to go to the bathroom on their own. So mom licks them to stimulate them to go, and then she consumes everything. So we have all of this worry and excitement and concern and protocols in place for keeping them all clean, and yet in the meantime, that's what's going in their mouths. So it's kind of funny in a way, but it is all just part of nature. That is what she's supposed to be doing, so it's all part of the process. And one of the things that comes from all that cleaning that a mama dog does do is sometimes their mouths get tender and even a little bit sore. It's a lot of acid in their mouths. It's not the most natural thing in terms of what's normally in your mouth. So for that, we make sure that their food remains softer. So we don't tend to give them anything that's particularly crunchy. Smack is the one food that we use that can be crunchy, and sometimes girls are fine with it and they really like to have that different texture, because normally we try to alternate the dog's food in terms of not just the proteins and the brands, but also the texture. But lots of times girls say no thanks to anything that's crunchy or hard during the time when they're doing all of their cleanup of their puppies. So right now Orca's not too fond of smack. She'll eat it occasionally, but mostly she tells me no thanks. So she's enjoying having rehydrated freeze-dried food. It's got lots of spinach and pumpkin and squash and seeds in it, lots of eggshells for calcium, all sorts of good things, and she really quite enjoys that. It has cranberries and blueberries in it too. And for the last couple of days, she's been a little bit off of her food. This is a totally normal thing at around the time the puppies are between 4 and 10 days old. Moms tend to just be getting their hormones settled again, and that often is similar to a nausea type feeling that you get from morning sickness. So they often have a little bit of an upset tummy and lose a little bit of their appetite. But she'll eat for me if I sit in here with her and feed it to her. If I just leave it up to her, she'll tend to just leave it and not eat. And we don't want her to do that, because as you can see, the puppies are all doing fabulously. They all have gorgeous, shiny coats. They all are nice, plump puppies, really filling out beautifully. So clearly that's a lot of work for Orca. That's a lot of milk that she's producing for these puppies, and they're all quite happy. You can see this little pink collar girl here. She's trying to get in here and have a turn and be able to get something, and not being too successful about all of that. She is having to wait her turn. And this is something that the puppies all do pretty instinctively. Orca will turn herself over to the other side so that both parts of her milk bar are available, and the puppies do take turns. So once somebody's been at the milk bar and filled up, they'll move off, and then that makes way for whoever hasn't had a turn. And even though it looks like they're all nursing right now, green collar boy is not nursing, yellow collar is also not nursing, and purple collar here is not really attached to anything. So really, I think the only one who's nursing right here right now is dark blue collar. So they've all probably had their fill. Now they like to be up against Orca because, of course, it's mom, it's comforting, and it's also cozy. So we have everything warmed up in here, but it's always very nice to be cuddled up with mom. And if Orca's not in here and it's not mom that they're using to be cuddled up with, they all gravitate to go underneath the pig rail there, because even though they can't see, they can't hear, they somehow instinctively know that this is the safe spot, that over here they have a cover, and that is what dogs instinctively do. And that is the behavior that's natural that we then build on when we start teaching our puppies and introducing them to a crate, because the crate provides this exact same experience. It's just like this, obviously only a little bit bigger. There's a roof over your head, there's solid walls. Now this is one of the reasons why we very much dislike wire crates. Wire crates don't have solid walls and they don't have a solid roof. All they are is a cage. They don't provide any of that comfort or any of that security that it is that dogs are looking for when they want to be in a crate. So they really are at a cross purpose for what the crate is supposed to be offering. They also can be quite dangerous in terms of dogs catching their mouths in the bars. It happens even in the plastic ones on the doors. It can happen if you don't have the right size crate for your dog. But in a wire crate, that's all the dog has, is just surrounded by open wires. So that's a cage. That's what you use at a vet clinic, generally speaking. That's a holding thing. There is no benefit to them other than they're a little easier to clean for the people, but really the plastic crates are not hard to clean, and they are the ones that are more successful for your puppies. So if you're one of our families on one of our litter lists, that is the right kind of crate that you'll get in your puppy starter kit if you are signed up for that. And it is the crate that will last your dog for a lifetime. And we tell you all about how to make it smaller so that when your puppy first goes home, it's not too big and cavernous for them. So one of the things we do is as soon as the puppies move out of the maternity ward here and into the doodle den is we introduce them to a crate then. There's a crate available for them and we don't put them in there. We leave there for them with the door off so they can come and go as they please. And generally speaking, within the first couple of days, you'll find that the puppies are going in there and that they like to be in there. Sometimes they'll be out and they'll be in their bed, but generally speaking, they will choose to be in the crate because they like that nice security and comfort. And our mama dogs will go in the crate to nurse their puppies because that is a much more natural environment for what they would be doing for nursing. So that's pretty much a good example of everything we do with our Labradoodle puppies at Van Isle Doodles. We take the natural behavior and then we build on that to get the behavior that you want in your puppy when the puppy comes to live with you. We don't try and get them to do things that are not part of their natural instinct, especially not when they're babies. This helps to build a really strong bond with the puppy. It helps to make sure the puppy's successful. That's I'm talking about your puppies. And it really makes things easier for you. And that is how we have all of our equipment and everything that we have at Van Isle. That's all chosen with all these things in mind. So even this whelping box, which you can see is not big. This is definitely not the large size that this box comes in. It comes in many different sizes. It is intentionally smaller because then mom and the puppies have less room to become separated from one another. It's easy for a puppy to wander off over here, and that's a very frightening thing for the puppy if it's over here. And the puppies will scream their heads off if they're over here. Mom will not leave the bulk of her puppies generally to go over and do something with that puppy. She'll wait here with the bulk of her puppies. Now, of course, we're here and we hear that and we come and we put the puppy back if it's lost. But when we have this smaller environment, that hardly ever happens. Much better, there's less interference from us. The puppies don't go through that trauma and everything just works out a lot better that way. So it's same as we have the temperature so that it's warm enough for the puppies, but not so hot that mom doesn't want the puppies up next to her or she's miserable. We don't want mom to be unhappy. Same as we have music for mom to listen to. We also have shades in the room so we can decide how much light is going to come in. So if it's a beautiful sunny day on Vancouver Island, and right now we haven't had many of those, then we can pull the shades. They allow the light to still come in, but it's not really glaringly, blindingly bright in here. Because dogs normally, if they weren't being raised by us, would be outside in a den that they had dug a hole for, and the puppies would be covered, so it would be quite dark in there. So we like to make the environment as close to that as possible. So those are all kind of examples, and we'll continue to talk about those. It's the same as the toys that we will introduce for the puppies. Very different toys at very different times because, again, we want to be building on the puppy's natural instincts, where they're at in their development, and how we can help with that. So toys are not just toys and fun things. Same thing for treats. We don't use the treats just because, oh hey, because treats are not really treats like they are for people in terms of dogs. Treats are part of their whole nutritional profile and they serve a purpose and a role in a dog's life. Whereas for us, treats are really just extras. So now if you see all the puppies here right now you'll see there are a couple of more of them that are nursing, and you'll see how they're all nicely lined up there. They're quiet, they're comfortable, they've all found their spots. They're all 6 in a row, even though all 6 of them are not nursing. And this is generally how we find them. Now you'll see this puppy here has his back legs out. And one of the reasons we have this covering on the floor here, this carpet, is because it's quite rough. It's not some big plush soft thing. It's not some big poofy fluffy blanket. And the reason for that is so the puppies are able to get some traction. So you'll see how Red Collar here is trying to move up farther. And even though he still has some slipping here because he's not as strong enough yet, he still is being able to get get some good purchase and traction here. And the reason why that's important is because that eliminates too much stress on his hip joints here. And we don't want to be damaging any of these very tender joints when they're not fully formed yet. So once we get to the exercise part of things, we'll talk a little bit more about that and how to protect your puppy's joints and make sure that they stay safe. And you'll see how he naturally puts his head into my hand now. So again, that's mimicking the feeling of nursing and mom. And we do that because he's smelling me. He knows it's not his mom, but he's getting that same feeling of comfort and security. So again, all part of the same thing that we're doing, that where we build on what the puppy is doing naturally. It's really important as a breeder to understand how dogs are naturally and work with that rather than trying to force things at the wrong time or in the wrong way. And just like Orca needs a pillow here, that's why I'm sitting like this, because this is what was comfortable for her this morning. When we came in to do the video, we were positioned in a different way. She wasn't comfortable with that. This was how she wanted to be. So it's very important that when moms are doing all this hard work, that we do everything really as much as possible to make them comfortable and how they like it to be. And for Orca, she likes having her head supported. So lots of times when I'm in here with her, this is how she sits. She will put her head on my leg. She loves to do that, and she loves just to have the comfort of a human next to her and just to be petted, which is great. So now let's talk about the puppies. Really for the first week, it's eat, sleep, repeat. That's all they do. There's not a lot that goes on other than they grow, and you will see by their weights how much they have changed in their weights. Everybody has more than doubled their weight, which is exactly what we're always looking for. We want them to be gaining and thriving and developing, and the first 2 weeks are so important for that. So this is why we weigh them every day. We weigh them every day for the first 2 weeks to make sure that nobody is lagging behind and there's no reason for alarm that we haven't seen. The other thing we do is we check under their tails to make sure they don't have wet bums, because that's always a sign that something's going on. So next week will be the first real milestone. And I will tell you, when we go through these puppies, there's a couple of them that are going to hit that milestone early, I think. And that milestone is their eyes opening. So right now their eyes and ears are sealed shut. So the first thing is the eyes open on average around day 14. And then in the third week is when their ears start to open. And once these puppies have their eyes and their ears open, then that's when we'll move them out into the doodle den. Because then they'll be ready for more experiences, more ways to interact with one another, more real estate so they can move around. So it'll be lots of fun for them. So let's go through the puppies now. We'll start here with Blue Collar Boy. And everybody except for Pink in this litter is a boy Labradoodle puppy. This little guy is a handsome chocolate and white puppy. Close to being a tuxedo, but he's not. And if you look very closely at his eyes, you'll see that they're not as sealed shut as they were in our birth announcement video. There are little slits starting to appear. So I think that this is one of the puppies whose eyes are going to open before day 14. We'll see if I'm right or not. And you can see his nose is starting to fill in. The brown coloring is coming through, so he doesn't have just a pink nose anymore. So he's a handsome little fellow with that white coloring up his face, lots of white on the chin, and then tons of white underneath. And then, of course, his little toes are dipped in white as well. This one here you probably won't notice once he's grown. His brown fur will cover up the little teeny bit of white that he's got there. But his other ones will be very similar to how Orca's paws are. And because she's clipped short, you can really see where her white meets her black there. It's very distinctive, really pretty pattern. And this little guy has the teensiest little tip of white at the end of his tail. Nothing that's really going to show up too much though. And Mr. Dark Blue Collar is weighing 666 grams. So he's really just motoring along really well there. And you see he made the tiniest little sound, and Orca is immediately on that, making sure and checking everything's fine. Next we have Red Collar. Red Collar, where are you, Red Collar? Here we go. red collar is this pretty little apricot and white boy. Now this puppy is a tuxedo, and Orca's got to do a little cleanup here. Now yesterday when I was doing the video, I was holding the puppy while this was happening and I got peed all over, so I'm going to hold the puppy over here today. So you can see on this little fella here, he's got lots of white going on the head here, all around the face. And then the reason why he is a tuxedo and the other one isn't, is his white goes halfway up his legs, and he does have white around his neck here. Now, technically speaking, he should have a whole bunch of white here to really fulfill the tuxedo things, but we'll go ahead and say he is a tuxedo. And then he's got a bigger tip of white on his tail too. So his nose hasn't filled in yet, but if you look here, just along the edge of his mouth here, let's just see if we can get him to show you. There's little hints of black coming in here. There we go. You open your mouth for me. Just little tiny smidges, which makes me think he's going to be apricot. No color on his pads yet, so I could still be wrong and he could be a caramel, but I think he's going to be an apricot. Yes, I do. I'm pretty sure of that. Oh, and red color weighs 610 grams. Next is our one and only girl, pink color, who's hiding right over here. Come here, Pinky. Oh, she says, Mom, come on. I was all attached. Oh, I finally got in there. Pink color is also an apricot. Now you can see much more her apricot coloring because her nose is already black around the edges and just the pink is in the middle there. And you can see on her lips here on the side that those are very definitively black. So she is definitely an apricot. Now, if this girl gets darker, and she has darkened since she was born, she'll actually be a red. So it just really is the hue that's going to change whether she's an apricot or she's a red dog. So we'll just have to wait and see how that develops. She got a cute little head, beautiful high set ears, just a little sweetie pie. And you can even see some of the darkness right in the corner of her eyes there. Lots of white underneath her tummy here. Also so real white, yeah. And she has the 4 white feet. And there you can really see the black lips while she did that yawn there. Very definitely an apricot or a red. Tiny little bit of a white tip on the tail. And she too has slits showing in her eyes. So I think that she will also be one of the ones whose eyes open before the full 14 days. So just put her back down there. Orca's got to do another cleanup there, make sure that I didn't get her dirty. Next we have yellow collar boy. And yellow collar boy is nursing. So we're just going to try and gently take him off. Oh, that was easy. Sometimes the suction is so strong that it's hard. Can you wait for a sec? No, you got to do it right now, eh? Okay, fine. This is our handsome black and white, pretty much tuxedo boy. And again, lots of white around the face, up the head, over the back of the head. The white on the paws is not quite halfway, but we're going to just say, yeah, that's okay. This really is a tuxedo pattern boy. Lots of white under the chin and on the chest there. And he has just a teensy little bit of white on his tail. Yeah, Mama didn't really want to share you very much, did she? There you go. Come on up and we can see you a bit. So yellow color boys, just this gleaming ebony. The ebony shade is my favorite just because it's always so shiny and so pretty. And yellow collar boy is 516 grams. So he's just doing fantastic. And it's a little harder to see, but he too is getting some slits in there. I think he's probably going to wait till day 14, but you never know. When we do next week's video, we'll see who was right and how wrong I was. There we go, yellow. There we go. Oh, yeah, that's a good boy. Next is green collar boy. Hello, handsome. And green collar is also nursing. Oh, good. Everybody's not really that invested in their nursing process at the moment, so that tells me their tummies are all full. But Orca is definitely invested in keeping them all regular here and making sure she's got them all cleaned up. So little green collar is a beautiful, rich ebony. This is just a gorgeous puppy. He has just a little smidge of white down his chest there. Otherwise, he's a beautiful, solid, gleaming black color. And he's got lovely big paws. I expect that he's maybe going to be one of the bigger puppies in the litter. Who knows? Sometimes that's a sign and sometimes it's not. He's just a doll. Beautiful head shape, gorgeous placement of his ears. Just a handsome, handsome boy. And green color is 639 grams. So he's not the biggest puppy at the moment, but we'll just see how that goes and if he does end up being one of the bigger puppies. Here we go, handsome. And last but not least is our purple collar. And purple collar is, I think, upside down here. Just a minute. Can I just see purple collar? I think this is you, isn't it? Yeah. Oh, I know, and you've got your spot all fixed here. Now, purple collar, I am always sure is nursing. This is the biggest puppy in the litter, and this puppy is a definite full tuxedo. This is the example of exactly what a tuxedo should look like. This guy is 695 grams, almost 700 grams already. So tons of white up the head that actually continues right over the back and around the neck, which is more of the definition of a tuxedo. This paw doesn't go quite all the ways up there, but close enough. Loads of white on the back. And this guy even has a bonus. He's got some white on his bum there. Oh my goodness, so he'll have some white on the back of your legs there. Because he has that white going on there, I expect he is a phantom carrier. Because both Orca and Tig are, so I am pretty sure that he's carrying that same gene. Means absolutely nothing unless he was ever used as a stud dog. And there are no breeding dogs in this litter, no breeding reservations, so we'll never know. But anyways, this is a handsome boy, the biggest boy in the litter, and look at the size of those feet. Holy smokes, he got some big feet there. And he is just really doing well. And you can see in his coat, again, he and green color, all the blacks, you can really see the richness of their coats. And you also see in these coats that nobody has any large amount of curl going on. Reynold, can you just pass me a paper towel? Just there's some pee on one of the puppy's heads. So when Orca was cleaning there, part of the pee she was getting the puppy to do went onto her, and we just have it on one of the puppy's heads here. So we just want to get that cleaned up. Well, because Orca hasn't cleaned it up herself. There we go. We don't really want to have pee on the puppy's head. Sometimes mums, when they're doing their jobs, are not so good with the logistics of it all. But that's okay, Orca. You did a good job. Yeah, there we go. We got that all cleaned up. So that is all the puppies in the litter, and that's our update for this week. We hope you enjoyed seeing them all and our beautiful Orca, and we hope you found the information helpful. If you have any questions about anything to do with Labradoodles, please feel free to post them in the comments. Always happy to answer any questions you may have. If you're a new breeder and you're wondering about colors and Labradoodle genetics, go ahead and ask away. I'm happy to help you out. And if you have a sec and you enjoyed the video, please give us a thumbs up. And we hope that you're subscribed to our channel. We try to give you a little bit of different information in every single one of our litter updates. And right now we have 5 litters, so there's lots of information flying around on our YouTube channel. And thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you again next week, and we'll have some eyeballs to show you. Yeah, the way you good girl you are. Did you get some pee on you? Oh my goodness me. There.